Welcome to the Stephen O'Brien podcast hosted by Stephen O'Brien. We will be talking all things fitness, mindset, motivation, and health and wellness on this podcast. Thank you for listening. You can follow me over on Instagram at Stephen O'Brien Coaching and on Facebook at Stephen O'Brien Coaching.
Hey, what is up everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of our 10-part series helping you build confidence, self-esteem, and then teaching you everything you need to know on how to become fitter and stronger. And also as well, if you wanted to check out my website at www.stephenobrien.coaching.com, I've got some incredible programs there to help and guide and support you to become fitter, to become stronger, to help you overcome mental barriers, so that you too can become more confident, improve your self-esteem, and become fitter and stronger. So be sure to check out my website at stephenobrien.coaching.com. So today's episode is the first of our series, of our 10-part series, and it's going to be sharing all about who I am, my stories, my struggles, everything that I've kind of overcome to become the person who I am today. So guys, let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. Guys, how are we getting on today? So first of all, I just wanted to say welcome to the series. And I think before we're getting started anyway, I just want to share a little bit about me, about my own personal journey, my story, and my challenges that I've kind of been throughout my life, and kind of what's led me to what I do now today. So focused on helping men build confidence, build self-esteem, helping them become fitter and stronger. I just really wanted to kind of share with you the struggles that I've kind of had with those areas. I suppose my kind of journey started off right when I was as young as I can remember. Like, I was always this quiet, shy little kid. I actually hated myself for it. I remember there was times where I'd sit down and be kind of, might be around a group of people and be chatting and be getting cold sweats, be getting so uncomfortable, getting really bad social anxiety. And I really kind of hated the person I was. I really struggled with that. I found it really, really hard. I found it really hard to make friends. I found it really hard to kind of connect with people. I just felt like I never knew what to say when I was actually trying to speak to people. So for me, that was a really tough kind of start for myself, because it kind of damaged my own self-esteem. It damaged my own confidence before I even started moving forward throughout my life. So kind of during my school years then, my parents separated. That hit me pretty bad, put me into a pretty bad place. During school, I was still this kind of quiet, shy kid. And for me to kind of stand out and make myself kind of be seen and kind of draw attention, I used to always get myself in trouble. There was times I was drinking in school, I was smoking in school, I was even taking drugs in school. So for me, it was like a way to make myself look cool, or trying to make the other people say, "Oh, he's actually all right." Because I found it really hard to express myself. I found it really hard to be able to actually speak to people. So that was kind of the start of my journey where I was at. When I was around maybe 18, got kicked out of home, had a huge blow up with my mother and her partner, which led to all my clothes being thrown to a bag, thrown out the door, and I was told go. So from that stage, I went and lived with my dad. Didn't have a strong relationship with him, but I went to stay with him anyway. And not long after that, I ended up moving to Spain. Now, during this time, I still wasn't speaking to my mother. I was still kind of this quiet kind of kid who I was. And so when I went over to Spain, I went over there with a girl I was going out with at the time. So I moved over to Spain. The idea was to kind of stay there for summer, see how we get on over there. Ended up staying there for 3 years, kind of on and off for 3 years. So during that time, I was drinking a lot. I was living off shitty food. And I was just kind of living it up, really. But separated with the girl I originally went over there at, and then kind of ended up falling into a relationship which ended up in an abusive relationship. So first it was more kind of mental abuse, and then it became more physical abuse. So for me, I put up with it. I felt like I was kind of being mentally tortured. Again, I was still drinking every day. I was still eating fast food. I was taking loads of drugs. I was in a really, really bad place. So this time, and at that time as well, I still wasn't speaking to my mother. We didn't speak to actually for about 3 years. Didn't really have close friends. So I was in this hole, really. And it got so bad at one stage that I just felt I couldn't take it anymore. And before I knew it, I found myself sitting in the bathroom and had a blade in my hand, and I was literally running that blade across my wrist. And I was trying my best to cut into the wrist. I just couldn't take the pain anymore. I had so much going on inside my head. I couldn't understand any emotions and feelings. I didn't know how to deal with them. I had no one to speak to. And I just felt this was the only way to get rid of all the pain and everything that was being built up inside me. But as I was trying to cut my wrists, thoughts of my brother and sister came into my head. And I was like, I really can't do this to them. As much as I wanted to get rid of the pain, I couldn't even think about putting that pain on top of them. So I kind of left it at that. Things got bad again. I think I tried to cut my wrist another time as well, and then I tried to hang myself as well on top of that. They were kind of all separate occasions. So for me, it wasn't about, when I look back on it, it wasn't about trying to end my life. I was really crying out for help. I wanted to support. I wanted to get away from that pain. That's really what I was looking for. So at that time as well, for some reason, my boss said to me one day, he goes, "Oh, do you want to come to the gym?" Now, he knew I was someone that was drinking all the time. I was smoking. I was living off shitty food and everything. I wasn't really a gym goer. So I said, "You know what, fuck it. I'm going to go." And ever since that day that I went, something just clicked inside me. I was able to release all my anger, my frustration, my fear, anything that is built up inside me. I was able to it just dissipated. It just disappeared from me, and it made me feel alive again. It made me kind of realize that, you know, there is a hope for me finding a direction and moving forward again. So I kept up the training. I was there nearly 7 days a week, still eating shit, and I was still drinking and smoking and all that kind of stuff as well. But that didn't matter because I'd taken that very first step to get me moving forward. So eventually I kept that up. I eventually gave up smoking and stuff. Slowly started changing my eating habits. Ended up moving back home, back to Ireland again, repaired my relationship with my mother and her partner, and we've got an absolute incredible relationship now. It's unbelievable. But I kept with it. I kept into my routine. I started to work on myself more. Started to learn a bit more about healthy eating and the importance of it, and it started to really drastically improve the way I felt about myself as well. Because for a long time I was this kind of chubby kid, shy, everything. I hated myself, hated how I looked, and I just kind of felt embarrassed of how I looked and how I felt embarrassed about the person I seen back in the mirror. So for me, taking on that journey and actually starting to see little changes in myself, it really gave me that bit of a boost in self-confidence and in my own self-esteem, really. So a couple of years after that, moved off to Australia. Again, went to go over there for a year, ended up staying over there for 7 years. And while over there, I got into the fitness industry, set up my own fitness business over there, was doing really, really well. Was going out with someone over there. We ended up getting married, a whole lot. So life was really good over there. Had a thriving business, had like my dream motorbike. It was like 5-minute walk to Bondi Beach, down there surfing in the evenings. Just living it up really. It was pretty cool. Loved it over there. But just as things picked up like that, my life flipped upside down again. And it was really, what happened was that while over in Australia, my partner at the time, she kind of got her dream job in New York. So we said, you know what, let's move to New York and let's see how we get on over there. And our relationship was a bit dodgy just before we left. And I was kind of thinking maybe this would kind of bring us back together and make us stronger, whatever. But over there, straight away, kind of in the first week, I was going, what the fuck am I doing back here? Like, why am I living in a huge city when I just came from living on Bondi Beach, which was just unbelievable over there. So living in this big, massive city, didn't know anybody. She started working. I was just sitting on my Todd going, what the fuck am I going to do now? So I was doing a bit of training and stuff like that and kept it up, tried to promote myself to get some personal training clients and stuff, but really in the back of my head I just hated being there. It just was not for me. So myself and her fell apart. When we went to Australia, or when we left Australia as well, obviously I had to sell everything, got rid of everything we had, including my business. When I was in New York, basically spent every penny. All my savings went because I was over there for 3 months, couldn't work or anything. So all savings, everything gone. Before I knew it, separated, and I'm back home in my mother's house. And I'm going, what the fuck just happened there? So it has been a roller coaster of ups and downs and challenges. But one thing I've really learned is that you need to focus on strengthening your mindset. You need to focus on the direction you want to go. So when I came back to Ireland, I could have let that really dwell on me. I could have let it really eat into me. But I was able to actually move past it pretty quick. And it was just simply because I spent years working on myself. I spent years doing personal development. I spent years strengthening my mindset. That what I've realized is that we have different directions that we can go no matter what the situation ever pops up for us. So when we kind of want to work, when we want to improve on something in our lives, we got to choose which path we want to take. And now, no matter what path you ever take, we're always going to come across challenges. We're always going to come across ups and downs. We're always going to get smacked into the face and blown back down. Now, it's how we tend to deal with those challenges, and it's the decisions that we choose to make when that happens is really what's going to determine how fast we move forward, or even the new direction that we start to take. And that's kind of really what I tried to start focusing on myself. Like, I didn't want to be held down. I didn't want to be held back. So for me now, like, at this current stage, I'm supposed to get married this year, but because of COVID, we had to push it forward a year. I've got an incredible partner now. I even got a little baby. She's nearly 2 years old. Be 2 years now in September. Got an incredible stepson as well. So with having everything, with losing it all and picking it back up within 3 years, I thought that was incredible for me anyway. I thought, wow, do you know what? And it really started to strengthen that belief in myself of you can change things, you can achieve things, you can completely flip your life around if you want to. So yeah, when I came back to Ireland, I was sitting in my mother's house going, what the fuck am I going to do now? But I was able to pick myself back up. I've got my personal training business back up and running while back home in Cork now again. Like I said, get married, kids. It's all the things that I've wanted, but it's things I wasn't able to have before. And that's what I wanted. That's what I had in the back of my mind is I knew what I wanted to get, and I went after it and I chased it, and I eventually got it, and now I have it. So when we come across challenges in our life, we need to ask ourselves, you know what benefit is it going to have to us by dwelling on things, by letting things hold us back, by letting things hold us down? Like, how is that going to help improve our lives in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? And if you can't find an answer for that, then you really need to ask yourself, then how do you want to improve your life? What are the steps you need to start taking? What can we actually start to do today to actually help you start to move forward? So that's just some of the challenges that I've been through in my life. And right now, I wouldn't say it's perfect. Do you know, everybody has challenges. Everybody has down days. Everybody has times where we feel like shit. But that's okay. That's just life. That's just part of the journey. That's just part of all these ups and downs that we're ever going to go through. And we're always going to have the challenges. And we're always going to learn how to overcome different hurdles. And it's overcoming those hurdles that's going to really strengthen us for the next time it comes up. So what I want to say to you guys is focus on what it is you want, the direction that you want to go, and really ask yourself, what's stopping you from doing that right now? Now, during this kind of series that we go through now over the next few podcasts and videos and stuff like that, I'm going to go through lots of different tips and tools and hopefully be able to connect with you a lot more and help you on your journey and help you overcome the challenges and give you some of these tools that have really kind of helped me move forward. So guys, again, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on today. I'll catch you soon. Again, thank you so much for tuning in today, for listening to my story. Hopefully there's some stuff there that you can actually relate to and things that will actually inspire and motivate you to actually overcome specific areas in your life as well. So again, be sure to get in touch with me, StephenO'BrienCoaching.com, or on Facebook and Instagram, Stephen O'Brien Coaching. Reach out to me, ask any questions also as well. I'm going to put the links in the description so you can get in touch with me straight away there. So guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.